You check your phone at 6:40 in the morning. A notification. $38 landed in your account overnight. You didn't work for it. You didn't ask for it. It just arrived while you were asleep because you owned something instead of trading hours for money. The coffee maker is still gurgling in the kitchen. Outside, you can hear someone scraping ice off a windshield, already late for something. You think about the version of you 2 years ago who hit snooze 4 times and dreaded the drive in, who measured Sundays by how much dread they carried for Monday. That version didn't know a morning could feel like this. Quiet, unbothered, already paid. You're 25. $10,000 saved from 2 years of skipping takeout, driving your brother's old car, saying no to things your friends said yes to without thinking twice. You remember the exact moment you transferred it, sitting on the edge of your bed, finger hovering over the confirm button longer than it should have, because $10,000 felt like a number that belonged to someone older, someone more responsible than you felt. You put it into a Dividend ETF nobody at your office has heard of, something with a boring ticker and an even more boring chart. At 4%, it pays you $400 a year. Your phone bill and your streaming subscriptions, covered every single month by money that came from nothing. Your roommate sees the app open on your laptop one night. He laughs, leans over the couch to look closer. $400. I made that in 2 shifts. You don't argue. You don't explain that his 2 shifts cost him 16 hours he'll never get back. And your $400 cost you nothing but patience. The next month, the dividend lands again. You don't spend it. You don't even think about spending it. You hit reinvest, the way you've started doing without deciding to. Your share count ticks up by a fraction nobody else will ever notice. You notice. You always notice. You're 28, $50,000 now, partly saved from raises you didn't upgrade your lifestyle to match, partly grown from dividends you never touched, compounding quietly while you were busy living. It pays $2,000 a year. Your car insurance and your internet bill for the whole year, paid by shares while you slept through most of it, while you sat in meetings, while you stood in line at the grocery store, thinking about something else entirely. Your cousin gets engaged that spring. The family dinner is loud and expensive, the kind where someone orders a bottle of wine just to make a point. He leases a new truck the same week and talks about it for most of the night. The payment, the trim package, the financing deal he's proud of. You drive home afterward in your 6-year-old sedan, the one with a small dent in the rear bumper you've stopped noticing. Nobody asks about your portfolio. Nobody needs to. On the drive back, headlights sliding across the windshield, you do the math in your head and realize every bill you've stopped thinking about is one your shares are quietly handling without you in the background while you live the rest of your life. You're 31, 6 figures, the number you used to think would change everything, the number that sounded like a finish line back when you had none of it. It pays $4,000 a year, a full year of groceries, every bag, every carton, every late-night grocery run, covered by money you didn't earn that week or any week. Your roommate, the one who laughed at $400, texts you one evening about a stock paying 11% monthly. He sends 3 messages in a row, increasingly excited, says he's putting $8,000 into it, says it's the smartest move he's made all year. You open the chart out of curiosity. The price has been falling for over a year, a slow bleed disguised by a high number. The yield looks huge because the company is dying, not because it's generous. You tell him to slow down, to look at the price history before the dividend number. He laughs it off in a voice note and buys anyway, that same night, before you can finish typing a reply. 6 months later, the dividend gets cut in half, and the stock drops another 25% on top of that. He goes quiet about it, doesn't bring it up again. This is the lesson most people only learn the expensive way. A yield that looks too good usually means a company in trouble, not a gift waiting to be claimed. The boring 4% that grows a little every year will always outlast the flashy 11% that eventually collapses under its own promise. You're 34, $250,000, sitting quietly in an account most people in your life don't know exists. It pays $10,000 a year, your car payment and insurance combined, for an entire year, without touching a single dollar of your paycheck. You're sitting in traffic one evening, brake lights stretching out ahead of you for half a mile. The driver beside you is on the phone, clearly arguing, gesturing with his free hand. Something about a payment he's behind on. His SUV is 2 years old and already looks tired. A scuff on the bumper, a check engine light glowing faintly through the windshield. Yours is paid off, plain, reliable. Nothing to brag about and nothing to apologize for either. He's paying for a feeling every month. The feeling of arriving somewhere in something new. You're being paid by a number every month instead, quietly, without an audience. That night, you remember something your father used to say, half joking, half not. The people with the least debt are usually the quietest about money, and they sleep the best out of anyone you'll ever meet. You're 37, $500,000, a number that used to exist only in spreadsheets you made for fun on slow weekends. It pays $20,000 a year, the number financial planners have quoted for 3 decades as the bare floor to survive without a paycheck, the number that shows up in every retirement calculator you've ever closed out of nervously. You wouldn't be comfortable at this number alone. You wouldn't be traveling much, wouldn't be upgrading anything, but you wouldn't starve either. And that distinction matters more than people expect it to. You realize this on a Friday evening when your manager leans into your doorway and asks if you can stay late again, the 3rd time this month. You say yes, but the yes feels different this time. Slower, more deliberate. It isn't fear talking anymore, the old reflex that used to answer before you'd even processed the question. It's a choice now, and you're fully aware you didn't have to make it. You sit in the empty parking lot for a minute afterward before starting the car, in no hurry at all, watching the building's lights shut off floor by floor. You're 40, $1 million, the number that sounds different out loud than it does on a screen. Your apartment looks the same. Your face in the mirror looks the same. Maybe a little more tired around the eyes. Maybe a little calmer, too. But the number pays you $40,000 a year, a full replacement salary every year, without you doing anything for it, beyond what you already did years ago. One night, unable to sleep, you open a tax calculator out of curiosity and type in $40,000 of qualified dividend income, single filer, current year. The result loads slowly, then sits there. 0 federal tax owed at that income level under current brackets. You read it twice, then a 3rd time, leaning closer to the screen, like the number might change. Your coworkers lose nearly 1/3 of every paycheck before it even reaches their account, automatically, without a choice in the matter. You keep all of yours. Nobody at work knows any of this. You still show up at 8:45, still nod through quarterly goals on a Tuesday call, still take notes in a notebook nobody will ever read back. But you know something they don't, something you carry quietly through every meeting. You could leave on Monday, and nothing about your actual life would change. You're 43, $1.5 million, sitting in an account that no longer feels abstract the way it once did. It pays $60,000 a year, close to what the average American household spends annually, without ever selling a single share, without ever touching the part that keeps growing underneath the part that pays you. The principal keeps compounding while the dividend keeps arriving on schedule, month after month, season after season, the way it has for years now, without asking for your attention. That morning, a headline catches your eye over coffee. A national survey claims most people now believe they need around $1.5 million to retire comfortably. You read it twice. You already have it, and the realization sits there for a moment without needing to announce itself. You sit by the window with your coffee, watching people drive past below, late for jobs, stuck in traffic, running on a schedule you used to run on too, back when mornings felt like something to survive instead of something to own. You think about the version of you at 25, the one who put $10,000 into a boring ETF and got laughed at for making $400 a year by a roommate who's still working the same job, still leasing, still waiting for a payment to clear. That $400 grew. That kid grew up. You open your laptop, write one short email, read it once, and hit send. No anxiety, no second guessing, just the same calm you felt the first morning a notification told you that you'd been paid in your sleep years ago before any of this had a name. It took one decision, made years earlier, and never broken. Be patient, reinvest, and let the shares do what you used to do with your hours. Now your mornings belong to you, every single one of them, for as long as you want them to.